Hey there guys, welcome back for another Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine review. This week we are looking at issue 25 of the magazine, and with this we get 5 Immortals. So we've got 5 bases and 5 Immortals. Now this sprue, an interesting sprue. We get 5 legs, 5 backs, 5 more backs, and 5 fronts. We also get 4 spines, and they go basically in the center of these, and we get 5 sniper rifles, or Synapse rifles is their correct name, 5 fusion blasters, I think they are called, or fusion rifles maybe, and 5 Gauss blasters. Now, the way that this works according to the magazine, if you are following the magazine, you will be building the guys that come with the Gauss blasters, which means you will be using the Gauss blasters, the legs, the back that doesn't have the tail, and also obviously a head and the chest. If you want to build an alternative, use the alternative weapon, the fusion blaster, then you will instead be using this piece, this back, as the cable there attaches to the cable here. Now the instructions in here will not show you how to build that. They want you to build this, but you can find instructions online. There are PDFs showing you how to assemble the alternatives. Personally, I will use these. I already have 5 of these guys, so I'll be doing another 5 with these, and the next time that we get this sprue, we'll actually be building the guys that use these. So if you want a set of 5 of these, don't worry, we will be getting them in a later issue. It will be this sprue all over again, but the instructions in the magazine will tell us how to use this with this, and the legs and the spine, and but yeah, it will be these bodies and these 5 heads here. If we can get that to focus, can we get it to focus? There we go. So the 5 heads at the top there are what we will use now, and the 5 heads at the bottom are for the other guys, and I can never remember the name of them, but yeah. However, I will show you, if you have spare Necron warriors, if you check the corner here, not only will there be the painting video for this week for this, as well as the battle report for this week, there will also be a video showing you how to build the guys that use these using the leftover parts, so the weapon and the back here, I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used a different back, I'm sure I did. Maybe I used this. Either way, I've already got the video. I've made the model out of the other set that I have. There is a link up there. It will show you how to use Necron warriors and these weapons, the leftover bits, and how to build them. So you can essentially, from this whole sprue and a sprue of Necron warriors, or 5 Necron warriors, you can build 5 guys with either this or the fusion blasters, and 5 guys with this. So 5 of that and 5 of that. Go check it out. But yeah, that's what we get today, and definitely not bad value for money, considering we just paid £9 for the magazine, and these retail, I think it's $32.50. Prices will be up on the corner there. However, saying this, I am recording this before the price hike. GW are about to do a price hike next week from this, so actually when this issue comes out, couple of weeks from when this came out, so your guys are now seeing issue 28, 29, something like that. GW have just increased the price, and if they've increased the price of this, then we're saving even more money. So from that point onwards, or from today onwards when you're seeing this, we are actually saving more money than we were before, because the prices of these have gone up. They were £32.50, they may be around about £35 now, so still a decent saving. Then we get another pull-out, this time focusing on Forge Worlds and the Adeptus Mechanicus. And look at that, I can get it all in screen now that I'm using a better camera mount and my black board here. So I'm not going to go into huge detail of this, I will let you read it out. I have no idea, I've never collected AdMech, so this is all new to me. But we've got a first macro blade, a second macro blade, a third macro blade, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and then we got cohorts, and we got maniples and maniples and maniples. I got my nipples, but yes. So for some reason, Adeptus Mechanicus love man nipples. Then we have the Forge World. So we've got Forge World Metallica. These guys actually have a pretty cool colour scheme if you like painting white. They are predominantly white with red detailing. Yeah, probably not the most fun to try and paint because white is a horrible colour to get nice and smooth, but there we go. Then we've got Mars, which is the colour scheme I'm going with, just because I like the look of the Mars colour scheme and I don't have any red in my armies. So I will have a red Mechanicus army. On the flip side to that, we get Riser, which are a very orangey, rusty looking colour. These guys look cool. We don't get any of these, but these guys do look cool. Very dead skinned looking guys. And then these guys as well. They remind me of old sci-fi, like back from the 80s sci-fi type robots, where they would have the dome heads and the big fat bodies. And then, do we get any more? So Metallica, no, Metallica, Riser and Mars. There are a few more, I think there's 3 more main ones, and then obviously 100 different ones that people have made themselves. So yeah, that's the pull out. Throw that aside. Then we have, in the issue, Necron Immortals to build and paint, explore Adeptus Mechanicus, Forge Worlds, and new data sheets and tutorials. So, Necron Immortals, the elite Necron infantry. Now, these guys are better than warriors, but they do cost a little bit more than warriors. I think it's roughly, for what you would get 5 of these guys, you can get 9 warriors, 10 warriors. Points wise, it is for every 5 of these you can actually get 10 warriors, but they have better weaponry and just all round better stats. Not Fusion Blaster, it is a Tesla Carbine. There's me saying Fusion Blaster this whole time, guys. It's a Tesla Carbine, you can tell I don't use those. So Gauss Blaster is what they want us to use, Tesla Carbine is the other one. Then we got the battle record for them. As always, note down your battles and stats and whatever they've gone through, damage and things like that. And then we've got some on the Royal Court. So whether they be pharaohs in command of an entire dynasty or overlords in control of a handful of tomb worlds, powerful Necron lords all possess their own Royal Court, a selection of lesser nobles, military officers, cryptek advisors and heavily armed bodyguards who help them rule their territories. So we get lords and overlords, of which we have already had one. We get Lich Guard, and we will be getting them within the collection. We get 5 of these guys. Royal Wardens, again, we've already had one. And Crypteks. Now this is fun, because we have just received, or a while back, received our Technomancer. We do get a Plasmancer, and we do get a Chronomancer, which is the only model I don't already have. I have one of these guys. This guy I hadn't already had, so obviously I've got him now. And I do have a Psychomancer. I'd already purchased one, but we don't get him in the collection. So essentially I've got 2 of these guys and then 1 of everything else from my Necron army. But yeah, this is the guy that I'm looking forward to. So there we go, that's the Cryptex. Now a Technomancer. These are the 4 main Mancers, but this guy is listed as a Cryptek. You can technically use him for whichever one you want if you wanted to, because Cryptex can look different however they like. As you saw, I've given my guy Skorpek legs, so he doesn't even look like this. He's got legs on him, and if I wanted to, I could have him as a Plasmancer, because that's how the Cryptex work. But yeah, basically he is the Technomancer model, the Plasmancer model, the Chronomancer model, and the Psychomancer model. Then we have Rule of the Imperium. So Rule of the Imperium falls to the High Lords of Terror, also known as the Senatorum Imperialis. This conclave of autocrats issues edicts in the Emperor's name, striving to maintain control. So we've got Senatorum Imperialis, Adeptus Mechanicus, Cult Imperialis, and the Adeptus Administratum. And all of them take years to decide on anything, and by the time they've decided to go and save a world, chances are that world has already been lost and they don't even know it. So they'll send out an army to go and save a world that no longer exists. It's a horrible place to live, is within the Imperium. It takes too long for anything to be done, and I'm sure it will say that somewhere within governing the Imperium there. Then Ultramarines, the Empire of Ultramar. So unlike the majority of Space Marine chapters, the Ultramarines benefit not only from the rulership of a single homeworld, but an entire stellar empire known as Ultramar. The worlds of Ultramar provide resources and recruits for the chapter, and in turn are protected by their Space Marine overlords. So we have Macragge here in the centre, and then we've got all the different worlds, the outlying worlds and everything of Ultramar. And I believe it is done like this because Roboute Guilliman and the Ultramarines, before they were Ultramarines, had already established their own empire. And when the Emperor came and obviously said, "You're my son, you're part of my empire," they came to some sort of agreement and said, "Look, you can have your sub-empire within my empire, I'll let you keep it." And then I believe toward the end of the Horus Heresy, Ultramar was cut off from the rest of the Imperium, and they believed that the Emperor had been slain, and so Roboute, Lionel Johnson, and Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, set up their own empire within Ultramar, using Ultramar only, and yeah, that's where we end up with Ultramar. And there's a really cool looking skull. I don't know if you guys can see that, I've just seen it, but that little nebula, whatever it is, makes an evil skull. Well hidden, GW, or not very well hidden because I spotted it, but yeah, it's a space skull. So I do not want to live on either of them planets, because that's an entire system. So okay, so these aren't planets, these are systems within a system. Yeah. So the Fortress of Hera, which sits on Macragge, and obviously there's a little bit on that. And then we've got how to build the Immortals. That is what I've done wrong. So with the sprue, guys, this is where I am. So this back we use for the Tesla Carbine and the Gauss Blaster. It makes up both of them. So yeah, there's the back of the Gauss Blaster. That's why I wasn't seeing the cable coming off. So this one. The other back is for the sniper guys, which is where I will use the back of this, the rifle, and obviously the rifle arm that goes with it, the sniper's head, and because we've already used the front to build these guys, we use the chest of a warrior. Now the only problem is a warrior doesn't have this large piece on the front here. His are smaller, and so I make some adaptation which builds this up, and when it meets the front of this, it ends up making pretty much one of these guys. But yeah, check the video out for that. So 3 times 3 multiple builds, alternative build options. So do we get alternative build options? It doesn't seem we do. You can stick any body top on any leg. So if you want to use the Tesla Carbines, basically you'll just be switching out this. I believe the arm is still the same, but don't quote me on that. But yes, I believe the arm is still the same. You just swap out this weapon and you'll get the Tesla Carbine. Obviously you're not going to have the rules for it, so you may want to stick with this unless you are planning on collecting Necrons and have bought the Codex anyway. Then we have how to paint them, using Corax White, Lead Belcher, Nuln Oil, Canoptek Alloy and other bits. Then we have data sheets now for the Royal Warden and the Immortals. So Immortals, you can have up to 10 in a unit. Obviously we only get 5 in the collection. The other 5 make up the sniper guys, but you could make up the other 5, make them as another 5 of these if you wished. And then a tutorial on the back of it. So the tutorials then are, I made the mistake before a couple of weeks back, the tutorials on the back are to do with the data sheets on the front. They are not a tutorial for the game, they're just for those particular units. I should probably read them, and I would have known that. Then we've got how to play Warhammer 40,000. So this is the rules. Core 1, meaning this is our first page. If you are putting them in different folders, this will be the first page of your rules folder. And obviously we are then going to go into different pages of the rules. Now we've got Scout 3. Now last issue we had, I believe it was Scout 1 maybe, or I'm missing something, or last issue was Scout 2 and I just didn't register with it. So yeah, I think we may be missing a Scout issue. That just doesn't seem right to me. Anyway, this is the mission. So defensive perimeter this time. We've got Necrons versus Space Marines again. And we have the mission briefing. The forces in play are 1 Royal Warden, 5 Necron Immortals and 10 Necron Warriors. And they are fighting against a Primaris Lieutenant, 5 Assault Intercessors and another 5 Assault Intercessors. So 2 units of Assault Intercessors. Create the battlefield. So we've got 3-inch deployment zone along the short board edge. And then we have 2 objectives, 1 near each deployment, 6 inches away from that 3 inches, so a total of 9 inches away, and 3 inches away from the long board edge. So 3 by 9 is where you put your first objective, and then opposite to that on the other side. And again, no terrain, we're just fighting an open battle, and you need to capture the outpost Gyarados. So there are 2 key locations on the battlefield: the fortress walls held by the Ultramarines, or in my case Dark Angels, in your case whoever you're using, and the breach held by the Necrons. The force who controls these key objectives will surely emerge victorious. Eliminating the enemy commander may help win the day. So at the end of each player's turn, the player whose turn it is scores 1 victory point for each objective they control. The Necrons player scores 1 victory point if the lieutenant is destroyed. The Space Marines player scores 1 victory point if the Royal Warden is destroyed. The battle lasts for 5 battle rounds. If at the end of their command phases one player controls both objectives, they are victorious. So, obviously you're going to want to leave at least a unit on here to secure this one and earn that victory point per round. And if you can, you want to try and capture this, because if you can capture this and hold it for a round or at the end of your command phase, so the start of your next turn, then you essentially you will win the game. Personally, I wouldn't worry about that. I would worry more about holding this, because you will get 5 victory points, 1 for each round, and kill the lieutenant or the Royal Warden, but try and score the victory point for that and keep your guy alive, otherwise it's going to end up in a tie. Keep your guy alive, kill their guy, and you will still win. If you're brave, then try and take it. Just bear in mind it's close to their guys. They are going to claim it. Personally, I would leave the warriors on here and 5 assault intercessors here, and then send the other assault intercessors and the lieutenant to take this, or the warriors and the immortals and the warden to take this one, if you wanted to do it that way. Just my thoughts. But yeah, the battle report for that is there. Go check it out, guys. Leave a thumbs up on it if you like it. Leave me feedback, where you think I could improve, and yeah, I'll try my best. Hope you guys enjoy it. So, prices up on your screen for the savings here. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm recording this before the price hike, where they were £32.50. The price on your screen is the new prices if they went up when this was released. However, technically we would have received this before that price hike, so £32.50 is what we'll say. The current price as I'm doing this is what we'll go by. Anyway, issue 26, we get the Tech Priest Dominus, we learn the secrets of the Tech Priest, and we get a Tech Priest tutorial, and then obviously another battle report. The week after, we get the Hemotrope Reactor, the history of the Imperium, and updated rules reference. Obviously there's going to be a painting video for each of these, but the next time we get one of these there won't be, and along with these will be battle reports. So yeah, do go and check those out. Check this week's out. Leave those thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumb up. If you have any feedback, comments, suggestions, anything you want to discuss, leave it down in the comments, guys. You know, I don't mind chatting with you guys in the comments, and it, you know, it could lead to further videos. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you've not yet subscribed, do hit that subscribe button. Get this channel growing. And if you have recently subscribed, then a huge warm welcome to the inner circle to you. But until next time, guys, that's all for now. So take it easy and keep painting those minis.